Hello, Classic Crew, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about 5 femininity mistakes I've made. Here on my channel, I think it is so important to embrace our femininity, and part of being a classic woman is knowing the value of womanhood. But I've made the mistake in the past of confusing certain behaviors with femininity and thinking that those things that I was doing were feminine. And in fact, they weren't. I was misunderstanding what feminine really means. So today, I'm really excited to share with you this list of 5 things that I've done in the past, thinking that they were feminine, but really they weren't. And I think it's so good to be able to talk about this topic and recognize the difference between what's actually feminine and what has been determined to be feminine in modern parlance, in modern society. I think that there are certain behaviors that have taken on the connotation of femininity, but they're not actually feminine. And I think in a lot of ways that cheapens the beauty of real femininity. So I'm really excited to get into today's video, but before we do, make sure that you're subscribed to my Substack newsletter, where you'll get access to exclusive content, including my podcast, Classically Abby Live, and to my book club, as well as other exclusive content. So now let's get into it. The first femininity mistake I made was to confuse sexiness for femininity. One of the things that we as women can do is use our feminine wiles or manipulate. And those two things are unique to being a woman, but they are not feminine. They do not make you womanly. To engage in really bad behaviors in order to get what you want is not a feminine quality. Feminine qualities are gentleness, but also guidance in a positive way. And misleading people and causing them to stray by using our manipulation or allowing ourselves to use those feminine wiles negatively is not good, and it isn't actually feminine. And I think I used to do this because I felt empowered in my feminine behavior, right? I was able to get a man's attention by being sexy. I was able to get someone to do what I wanted by acting like a woman can. But at the end of the day, those things weren't really embracing my femininity, because there's a difference between embracing femininity and abusing femininity. And I definitely abused femininity in that way. And I think it's very easy to do. And in today's modern society, being sexy, using your feminine wiles, manipulating are all under the title of feminine behaviors, instead of recognizing that women can do those things uniquely, but it is not a feminine thing to do. It doesn't make use of our femininity in the most positive way. Number 2 is being vain. I used to take way too much time with my hair, way too much time with my makeup. And I don't think it's bad to do those things, to take care of yourself, or if it's something that brings you a little bit of joy, but doing it to look good all the time and needing to look amazing in all photos and being really kind of vain, those are not feminine qualities. A feminine woman embraces her beauty and knows how to accentuate it, but she doesn't rely on her looks to define her. And vanity can really make you think less of your personality because you're so dependent on people thinking you look beautiful that you don't actually give yourself credit for being who you are. And again, I think this is a really easy femininity mistake to fall into in today's day and age, where you think that looks make you feminine. And taking care of your beauty, encouraging your beauty, that's great. That is feminine. But being vain is a really different animal. It's something that takes away from your feminine beauty if you're so focused on your looks that you can't get past yourself. And if you've ever been around someone who's really truly vain, you know how boring it is. There's this self-consciousness that prevents you from living your life because you want to look perfect at all times. And that is not a feminine quality. Number 3 is thinking weakness is feminine. I used to think that kind of giving in to my weakness was a feminine thing to do because women are physically weaker than men. But the fact is that a strong woman is the most feminine thing in the world. When a woman is strong, she is better. She can be the best version of herself, and she can help those around her. And that is really feminine. Again, this goes back to that gentle guidance that embracing your femininity allows you to do. And if you are weak, you can't help anyone. You can't guide anyone. You are a damsel in distress. And being a damsel in distress sounds feminine, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's not feminine to be a weakling and to allow yourself to fall into victimhood. It's very much so feminine to find that feminine strength and be the person that someone can depend on. So weakness may seem like a feminine quality, but in fact, strength is. Number 4 was dressing prettily, but impractically. I always thought that, you think of a feminine woman and you think of a woman in a beautiful dress and gorgeous heels with, a gorgeous outfit on. But at the end of the day, if it's impractical, how feminine can you really be? You're not able to walk. You're not able to go anywhere. You're not able to do anything. That's not an attractive quality, and it's not really feminine to be useless. I mean, femininity is all about embracing that feminine strength and being an impractically beautiful person. Again, this kind of falls into the vanity issue, is just not a feminine quality because it takes away from your womanhood if you're just a porcelain doll. And that's not actually feminine. It's a picture of femininity in our minds, but it's not real femininity. So how do you get to real femininity? It's not by dressing impractically but beautifully. It's dressing beautifully but in a way where you can actually be useful and be helpful. And real femininity is not just about that pretty picture on the shelf. It's about finding your purpose in your womanhood. My last femininity mistake was being friends with more men than women. When I was younger, I used to be the kind of girl who would say that I couldn't make friends with women, that I needed to have friends that were guys, that I liked hanging out with guys more than I liked hanging out with girls. And I think part of that was the women I was hanging around with at that time were not necessarily good for me. They were not living by my values, and it can actually rub off on you. But more than that, I think that there's an issue when we believe that it's feminine not to have female friends because you're too girly or men like you too much for you to be able to hang out with women. Nowadays, I have a huge friend group and it's all women and I love it. It makes me so happy. And this is real femininity. This is the greatest thing that I can give myself as a woman, is having other women I can talk to about life, about what we're going through. But a femininity mistake is not understanding that other women who share your values and your perspectives are going to bolster you and make you a better version of yourself and allow you to embrace your femininity even more. Instead of, I'm feminine because boys like me. That is not what femininity is. Femininity is really about recognizing what makes you woman and how you can use that in the best way. So that is my video today. Let me know in the comments if you've made any of these femininity mistakes yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not already subscribed to my Substack newsletter, I would love if you would come join us. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, it's Classically Abby absolutely everywhere. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and make sure to ring that notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!